I've managed to play quite a bit of Troy in the short time I've had a key. Creative Assembly have provided me one as part of their content creator program, so I've had it for 5 days before release. So far I've played one campaign as Orlando Bloom, Paris of Troy, and I'm about 50 turns in, so I'm in the mid-game now. And it's just now that I'm starting to see how good Troy really is. I was originally skeptical for this next Saga title. Although I thoroughly enjoyed Thrones of Britannia, its reception was lackluster. In Troy's case, I believe it will outshine its predecessor tenfold, and is a no-brainer for it to be picked up on the Epic Store for free in the first 24 hours of release. The team at CA Sophia have until now only been used for recent Rome 2 DLCs. At last, they've been given a chance to prove themselves with a fully fledged epic, worthy of the Iliad. With 8 starting factions to choose from, and more to come with DLC releases down the line, there's plenty to choose from and find the right fit for each player. These 8 factions form 2 sides of the Trojan Wars, so you're picking your side right off the bat. I chose Paris because I wanted to be more defensive, but I immediately became very expansionist. I was struck by how stunning the models are for these characters. Coming from Three Kingdoms' flat art style, these hyper-realistic 3D models blew me away and really drew me into the characters, looking into each one and making them feel far more real. Once in the game, it's clear that this game is built off of Warhammer, with its consistent UI structure and layout with the Trojan style. There are no immediate surprises to how the campaign map behaves. There is, however, a fundamental change that alters how the campaign plays. No longer do you have just gold. You have wood, food, stone and bronze alongside. It's these resources that I would say are the biggest change Troy brings to the table, and they are used in all aspects of the game, with food and bronze in higher levels paying for the upkeep and recruitment of units. And agents. Yes, they're back. Wood and stone as building resources, and I'm not yet sure what gold is used for other than a more solid staple when bartering for profit. Resources are produced by every settlement, making it more important that you pay attention to where you're attacking and defending and what you value most. These settlements can be improved as normal to improve yields with a similar building UI as all other Total Wars. But what if you don't have the resources you need? Well, now you barter, not trade, as fixed trade agreements won't fit in the style of resource management. So you can go to your allies and friends and suggest swapping goods. It's important to check how they value each resources so you get the best deal. If I'm after food, for example, I'm going to go to a mass producer who values it cheaply and values my stone massively. That way I'm maxing out what I can get for my stone. And some people, like my Papa Priam, produce so much food that they will give it away for nothing, which is handy. So be sure to assess the market of who's got what and who wants your stuff. It's a simple change made to Troy, but it makes it so much more immersive, and I'm constantly checking values and building relationships with my neighbours as they require my goods or vice versa. As Paris, you duke it out with your brother to become the heir to the throne, something I thought would be a close run thing, especially as every turn it seems that my brother would get more and more favour and I would get nothing. That is until I found an exploit, or a lucky set of circumstances. I'm still not sure. With gaining Priam's favour, he will set you missions. One of these missions was to build a temple. I can't remember who to, but when it was done, you gained 10 favour and he sets you the next one, which was to build another one to another god. But in Troy, you can switch the dedication of a temple to a different god for a small fee and a few turns. So that's exactly what I did. I switched it to another god. And once that was done, he set me another mission to change it back, each time giving me 10 favour as I did, no punishment for changing the dedication of these temples. This immediately broke the whole mechanic and I swiftly climbed, and now I'm well in the lead, as the favoured son, but I don't feel like I deserve it. It is when we get to the battles that Troy lets me down. Like it or not, Troy is grounded in history, so there are no real Minotaurs. It's just a man in a costume on stills. But that's not really where my gripes lie. Unfortunately, it's more with the basics. Both the campaign, battle maps, and units are stunning. There is no doubt in that this is the best we've seen so far in a historic setting, and that's where it stops. The new UI makes them difficult to understand, putting an entirely new icon system in place, which does nothing to improve the old. In fact, in my opinion, I think it's worse. Before, you had a banner with a unit type icon, archer, sword, cavalry, etc., above the unit, with an information cluster of health, morale, and ammo underneath it. But in Troy, you only have that latter half. Multiple times in battle, I've had no idea what's happening to my units, for it to turn out that they are routing and being brutally cut down as they run through the enemy line, which is an issue in itself, and a frustrating one too. But this bad morale was aided by a mechanic that Paris has. The longer away he is from Helen, the sadder he becomes, and his army in turn get, making them useless in battle at the lowest level, which I was at because I ignored the irritating advisor when he popped up. My next issue is with the battle length. Most battles are 10 to 20 minutes, whether it's a siege or land battle, but most of the time it isn't battle. It's getting units back from routing and charging them back, which isn't fun. It's difficult to strategize anything on the battle map, because as soon as you commit anything to a line, it will break, and it will dissolve into a mass blob of who can wrap around who the best. And with very little cavalry available, it's more luck than skill. And the animations. The animations. I love the battles in Total War. They are the best part of it. A perfect charge or a nice matched combat animation. And in Troy, I'm yet to see that. It's more of flailing about and knocking people flying, and it feels cheap. And it's a section that they really shine at, and yet now it's just gone? It's a huge disappointment, and I really don't care about playing battles in Troy. They aren't fun, nor are they great to look at. However, you can auto-resolve them. And it actually seems better to just do that. It seems more balanced, so far of what I've played, and now you get a lovely matched animation of your generals fighting in an arena, which is such a nice touch. In conclusion, in saying all that, and in the hopes that things will get better, which they already have from earlier builds that we've seen, the campaign in this game is fantastic, and I cannot wait to get to the late game and see the invasion of Troy. Battles, on the other hand, are not in a great position, but there is a foundation to work on, and CA seem keen to make this saga title a great success, so I'm sure we'll see more development in that area over time. And I have no doubt that this will open up Total War to a whole new audience when it drops for free in the first 24 hours on the Epic Store this week. I would strongly recommend this to anyone who has the slightest interest in strategy games, the Trojan Wars, or just wants to play a damn good game for free.